Imagine this. One morning, the cryptocurrency community awakens to a headline that appears in the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, and Bloomberg. An IPO announcement from Ripple is the kind of event that rewrites a market rather than merely moving it, because this would be the single biggest trigger in XRP's history, and it wouldn't just be another business event. For XRP, a Ripple IPO would be similar to what the Bitcoin ETF was for BTC, a moment of widespread confirmation that causes FOMO all across the world. This rumor has been going about for years in whispers, private discussions among insiders, speculative tweets, and subliminal clues from executives. However, the picture is becoming unavoidable as the dots begin to join. It might just be a question of timing, but XRP to the moon might no longer be a meme. Let's begin by reviewing the impact of the Coinbase IPO on the cryptocurrency market. When Coinbase went public in 2021, it was truly a culture shift rather than merely a listing. Digital assets went from being debated in specialized online forums to being featured on the front pages of every financial journal worldwide almost overnight. On its first day of trading, Coinbase's worth soared to nearly $80 billion, and the incident gave legitimacy to a sector that had been pleading for acceptance. Now picture Ripple as a business with actual institutional customers, expanding regulatory advancements, and a successful track record in the digital financial space. Not just another software firm, Ripple is a significant player that already collaborates with payment processors and banks worldwide. Imagine Ripple making the audacious decision to go public with the goal of completely rebuilding global payments. It would have a seismic effect. There is more to this than hype and conjecture. It's about changing the way money moves around the world and opening up access to international investors. Imagine institutional investors and fund managers actively discussing XRP exposure, evaluating it as a significant asset class for their portfolios, and contemplating how it might change the financial landscape. Furthermore, Ripple has the potential to establish a new benchmark for legitimacy and confidence in the cryptocurrency sector by gaining the kind of credibility that only a public listing can provide. This is where things become fascinating, though. The clues and disclosures are no longer only conjecture. According to a number of reliable sources, Ripple has been covertly laying the foundation for a public offering over the past 12 months. The signs are everywhere, from hiring international investment banks to help with the listing, to executives like Brad Garlinghouse implying that an IPO is unavoidable if legal clarity is obtained. Furthermore, an IPO is not only conceivable but also long overdue, given that Ripple already functions similarly to a large financial institution with offices worldwide, a professional board, and an expanding roster of institutional partners. Let's talk numbers, since Ripple has the potential to set new valuation records if it goes public. Depending on XRP's performance and market conditions, analysts have put Ripple's private valuation between $30 billion to $100 billion. However, that number might soar if regulations are clarified and institutional confidence is restored. Imagine Ripple being one of the most valuable fintech businesses in the world right away if it goes public with a $75 billion market cap. XRP gets greater demand, validity, and attention the higher Ripple rises. This feedback cycle has the potential to push XRP into a new price range. Now consider the media hysteria that would result from this. Similar to how the introduction of the Bitcoin ETF dominated all financial discussions, a Ripple IPO would dominate the news cycle. Brad Garlinghouse would be interviewed by CNBC, and panelists from Bloomberg would discuss if XRP is the next major institutional move. It is impossible to overestimate that association's branding power. XRP becomes the natural entry point for any hedge fund seeking blockchain exposure, as well as any inquisitive retail investor. The double catalyst then enters the picture. Timing. Until the SEC case is concluded, Ripple cannot and will not go public. Then, in a matter of months or even weeks, Ripple might declare its initial public offering, IPO, which would immediately put it on par with the largest IT and financial firms. When those triggers come together, they create a perfect storm where confidence and clarity combine to create an unparalleled demand for XRP. Institutional investors have been anticipating this, but because of regulatory uncertainties, Global asset managers, pension funds, and exchange-traded funds are unable to purchase XRP with ease today. However, that obstacle vanishes after Ripple goes public and the SEC issue is resolved. As part of a post-IPO fintech plan, consider large funds increasing their exposure to XRP. The psychological aspect of this story, however, is arguably the most underappreciated. Perception drives markets. A company's decision to go public conveys permanency, maturity, and trust. That's crucial for the crypto community. Therefore, the true catalyst may already be in action, even though many people are still obsessed with the lawsuit. The IPO of Ripple might be the catalyst for the ultimate fusion of the blockchain and Wall Street worlds. It might lead to a revaluation of the whole digital asset market, not just XRP. The truth is that they cannot stop it. They can only postpone, repress, or deny it. The financial world is changing, the momentum is increasing, the indicators are everywhere, and more people are becoming aware of what's coming every day. Those who are able to spot the clues early will have a unique chance. Only those that took prompt action will be ahead of the curve in the near future, as the opportunity for early positioning is rapidly closing. You have a limited amount of time to act. A significant turning point for the company and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole will occur when Ripple eventually enters the IPO stage. XRP won't simply rise, it will spark a revolution that transforms everything and unleashes a global flood of opportunity and creativity. Disclaimer: please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. Professional financial advice should not be derived from the information presented in this video. These videos only include content that is meant to be entertaining. It should not be used as a basis for financial decision-making. Rather, it is intended to offer general information. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. This is essential to make sure your decisions are well-informed and appropriate for your particular financial circumstances. Many thanks for listening. I sincerely appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoy and learn from the content. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Your participation expands the channel's audience. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. You won't miss any new videos or updates in this way. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful and educated. I'll see you shortly.